Thanks for subscribing and liking. Now let's begin the story. The air smelled of rust and damp when we stopped in front of the gate. The chain was rusted through, the padlock broken, yet it still swung in the wind. The sign above was barely readable. Dreamlight Fair, Grand Opening, 1998. The painted clown's grin had peeled into jagged cracks, staring down at us with a frozen expression that felt almost alive. There were 3 of us. Riven went first, Cass behind me, and I stayed in the middle. We weren't urban explorers in the traditional sense. We weren't chasing ghosts or filming paranormal shows. We were just people who couldn't stand the silence anymore. Forgotten places, abandoned structures, cracked roads, empty playgrounds, they made the world feel alive again. Riven always went first. He pushed the chain aside, the gate groaning in protest, and stepped inside. The smell hit me immediately. Wet metal, mold, old grease. Even without wind, the swing chains rattled as if the park itself were exhaling. The moonlight fell on the skeletal Ferris wheel. Everything was coated in moss and rust. Riven led the way with a flashlight, and Cass followed, holding a camera tightly, as if capturing this moment would keep us safe. I watched the surroundings. The cotton candy stand was still standing, its faded letters reading sweet memories. Beneath it lay a filthy plush bear, face pressed into mud. Cass crouched to pick it up, brushing off the dirt, and laughed quietly, saying it looked as if someone had just dropped it. I started recording with my phone, the footage shaking but the lens capturing every detail. Riven spoke ahead, the twinge of excitement in his voice as he mentioned the tunnel. That was why we had come. The stories said a group of children had been trapped there during a fire years ago. None had been found, and some whispered that the tunnel itself still hid something else. The silence changed as we stepped forward. From a rusted speaker high above, a hiss sounded, first like static, then turning into something resembling steady breathing. We all froze. There was no wind, no mechanical fault that could explain it. A high, thin laugh joined the sound, a child's laugh, echoing softly, yet clear enough to make the hair on the back of my neck stand on end. Riven tilted his head, wondering aloud if the old wiring somehow still carried electricity. Cass shrugged, saying a place closed for 10 years doesn't just start up on its own. Yet the sound persisted, a pulse in the darkness. We kept moving, flashlight beams cutting swaths of light through the shadows. At the end of the path, a large, decaying doorway emerged. Paint chipped, letters half worn away, but still legible. The Mirror Tunnel. A rusted sign swung lightly, creaking, and the faded words read, "Are you ready to see your true face?" Cass read it aloud with a nervous laugh. Riven went first. The flashlight reflected off cracked mirrors lining the walls, fracturing the light into shards of silver and black. The mirrors multiplied us. 10, 20, 50 versions of ourselves, stretching and twisting into impossible shapes. It was as if the tunnel wasn't leading forward, but plunging us down into endless darkness. Riven stopped abruptly. He motioned to the camera. I checked the screen. The image was clear, but there was something wrong. There were 4 silhouettes, not 3. The extra one stood at the back, motionless, face obscured. I dropped the camera. Riven's voice called out, asking what had happened. I said nothing. The light of the flashlight revealed it moving, Or maybe it was the tunnel itself shifting. A faint glow appeared in the center of the tunnel. We didn't have flashlights, yet the light moved on its own. Between the mirrors, a small, childlike figure emerged, steps silent but precise. Its head lifted, eyes pure white, empty. Its mouth opened, but no sound came out. One mirror cracked, then another. The cracking echoed through the tunnel in long, jagged notes. We ran. The sound of broken glass under our shoes was sharp. The tunnel seemed endless, every step darkening the reflections rather than clearing them. When we finally emerged, the night sky had shifted. The full moon was gone, replaced by an opaque darkness. The fairground was still silent, yet from somewhere distant, a melody floated. Soft, faint, like a child's lullaby. Riven collapsed to his knees. "What is this?" he asked. Cass opened the camera to check, but the recording was gone. It was as if we had never filmed anything. Far off, a light appeared. The Ferris wheel was turning. No wind, no mechanism we could see. And yet it moved. Riven motioned for Cass to shine the flashlight. Cass aimed. Inside one of the cabins, someone sat perfectly still. I thought it was a mannequin until it turned its head slowly. Its face was blank, yet it seemed to look right at us. Suddenly, the fairground lights snapped on. Neon signs, the carousel, bumper cars, all alive in an instant. Sound erupted from the speakers, screams, laughter, and music all at once. Cass stepped back. "Someone must be joking," he said, but we all knew better. The fairground hadn't operated in over 10 years. We sprinted for the ticket booth. Dust covered everything, but the lights were on. Riven pressed his face to the glass. "Someone is controlling this," he whispered. From the speaker above, a voice, booming, muffled, ancient, spoke. "Closing time." Cass flinched. Riven aimed the flashlight toward the source. The booth door slammed shut. Lights went out. Silence swallowed us. Then a bell rang. The Ferris wheel's bell. We couldn't open the door. Pushed the glass. It didn't budge. A dark silhouette appeared outside the booth. Its hands pressed against the glass, blackened and grimy. Then it vanished. Lights returned. Riven was gone. Only his flashlight lay on the ground. Cass and I exchanged a glance, both of us silent, paralyzed. We forced the door open and ran. The fairground was silent again, the Ferris wheel turning in the still night. On the ground, a ticket lay, pristine. Dated October 31st, 1998. Cass turned it over, faint writing on the back. No exit, only return. I looked up. Riven was on the carousel, smiling, silent. Cass ran to him, hand outstretched. The moment she touched him, his body passed through, translucent and cold. The carousel continued to turn. Cass stepped back, breathless. "We have to get out," she said. We ran. Lights flickered everywhere. The speakers screamed, and a voice intoned, "Final session." Mixed cries, laughter, distorted music. The exit appeared. The chain was gone, the gate wide open. Cass went first. I took a step. From the speakers, a voice whispered, "Show your ticket." I felt the cold behind me. I didn't turn. I ran, but my feet felt glued. I looked down. My shadow walked backward, limbs twisted in impossible ways. A whisper brushed my ear. "See you soon, guest." I passed through the gate. My ears rang, my vision blurred. When I emerged, dawn had broken. Cass wasn't beside me. The gate stood locked again. My phone screen was shattered, but the recording was intact. On it, only darkness and the faint sound of laughter. Closing time. I deleted the file. I never went back. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear it. The smell of cotton candy, rust, sharp and sweet. Somewhere, the carousel keeps turning. And in one cabin, a seat remains empty.